Hey folks, Phil Gallagher here for another week of Daily D&T. This week of Daily D&T brought to you by Nathan S. Thank you very much for your support. Beginning this week, we're going to do something different with each episode of Daily D&T. So at the beginning of each week, there's going to be a 2 or 3 minute long deck tech where I just go over the deck for the week. And then before every episode, I'm just going to put the deck list up on screen for maybe like 10 seconds or something like that to remember to remind people what's going on with the week's deck list. That was in a comment that I got at some point last week, and I thought it was pretty insightful. We are taking Tetraverse's 5-0 list for a spin. I'm not going to change any of the core cards, but I am going to split my planes and snow-covered planes because I'm not a heathen.
XJ Cloud.
Anyway, I really like this deck list as a whole. I would change a couple of tiny things about it, but I love the sideboard of this deck, which is why I'm going to go and take it for a spin. So I'm actually going to start there. If you look at this sideboard, you can see how much respect is being given towards combo here. Specifically the Breach deck that's been going around. We have 8 cards that we can play against that deck. Of those, 6 of them are playable on or before turn 1. I think that shows a lot of respect for the power level of the Breach decks. They've been very popular online, although surprisingly one did not make the top 8 of the Leaving a Legacy Open this weekend. We'll see how they do in like the preliminaries and the challenge and whatnot. But that deck is like #1 thing that I'm concerned about in the format right now, much more so than Oko. Looking at the main deck, most of the stuff that we have here is pretty stock-ish. Drawing attention to a couple of numbers. Only 2 Revokers here, since we're a little more combo-oriented in the sideboard. You don't necessarily need to have as many early plays against combo. I like the 2 Crusaders for the Oko decks, and Sanctum Prelate, again, kind of hedges against combo, but it's also fine against the Oko decks, You get this sucker down on 3 when you're on the play, you stop the Oko from coming down, it's backed up by Mother of Runes, like, you can wiggle yourself into some really good spots with a shell like this. Otherwise, we have the Singleton Flagstones, which I've always thought was pretty dubious with Cataclysm, but I'm not going to change it out. I'm going to run all the rest of the lands as is. I have made no functional changes to the deck list. I'm just playing around Protect a little bit better, and the cost is basically nothing to do so. Another thing we've started to see crop up in a lot of Death and Taxes lists is the one of Silent Clearing. It used to be Horizon Canopy. People appear to be trending towards Silent Clearing now. It bluffs some of the black cards that you realistically might play, and just like puts that little thought in the back of your opponent's mind, like, do they have a Plague Engineer or a Pontiff in their deck that I need to be worried about? So I think Silent Clearing is probably the best of the filter lands. Alright, so this is where today's video cuts. Well, the first video of today cuts, and now we'll jump into a league with the next video.